October and get a free band for E and a gift box. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. My name is Bobbie Osei.
And I am Zoe Abu-Baidoo. Coming up.
31 suspected members of the Western Togoland group who were part of this morning's disturbances, essentially blocking entry points to the voter region, have been arrested and airlifted to Accra for investigations.
We'll also hear from the Defense Committee in Parliament on what steps it's taking to deal with this issue.
Nobody will be allowed to destabilize this state. They may have some initial attention, but going forward, I believe they are going to struggle and suffer for every consequence that they might have allowed this country to go through.
Still ahead, police yet to make any arrest following the shooting of the chief of Ewutu Ofako over a land dispute this week.
3 people were rescued from the bush. None of them were hurt, but additionally 4 people sustained gunshot wounds. So we rushed them to Kaswa Polyclinic, where they were transferred to Trauma Hospital, Winneba.
And later on Constituency Radar, we take you to the Esikado Ketan constituency of the Western region, where Railways Development Minister Joe Garte is set to face stiff opposition from the NDC candidate Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa.
I'm coming in as the underdog or the unknown, but even more so, that is why the race is more interesting to me.
In fact, I must tell you that the candidate has been very helpful to us. The more the candidate lies, the more people respond.
In your short is a helicopter bringing in 14 members of the Western Togoland group who are part of today's disturbances. Now this group will be joining 16 others who actually arrived from the voter region. Now this morning we all woke up to a disturbance by this particular group, blocking entry points to the voter region. Now very soon the helicopter will be landing and these men will be disembarking. Now they will form part of 30 men who have been apprehended and brought in from the voter region. Now you can see the Ghana Air Force helicopter in the background. In that particular aircraft, you have 14 individuals who essentially were, part of today's disturbance. Now they have been brought to the Air Force base in Accra at the Burma camp, essentially to be interrogated as investigations begin into today's disturbances by the Homeland Study Group, also known as Western Togoland. Moving closer, some security personnel are also approaching the aircraft. So in your shot, you see one of the military police personnel taking handcuffs that will be used in restraining the 14 gentlemen who have been brought in from the voter region to the Air Force base right here at Burma camp in Accra. About 11 or so military police personnel standing guard. Here's the first person just disembarked, second person disembarking. Now, mind you, these individuals are suspects that have been picked up as part of today's disturbances in some parts of the Volta region. So far, we have just spotted the first lady as part of the group. So far, we've only seen a lot of men. The lady is shedding some tears, obviously distraught. Their details are about to be taken. Just to do another count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them. They would add on to the 16 who were originally, who came earlier from the Volta region, who were transported earlier from the Volta region. And that would bring the number to 31 individuals. Mind you, one person has lost their life as part of this case this morning, disturbance that the country woke up to. And now, the gentleman in your shot who is holding the small miniature version of the Western Togoland flag was allegedly arrested whilst they were going to hoist a flag of the group, as part of this morning's commotion. The two vehicles that will be transporting the suspected members of the Western Togoland group. Now, the 15 that just arrived are being mashed and transported into the vehicle that is standing by. The blue truck next to the military colored truck is holding the first 16 that arrived from the Volta region. The only lady as part of the group is about to, she gets lifted onto the truck in tears. The Citi Newsroom attempted to get an interview, but we were turned down. However, moments afterwards, a press release was issued by the joint military and police forces, and in response to these unlawful acts, a joint military police team, in conjunction with other security agencies, deployed to the affected areas and succeeded in apprehending 31 members of the group. Fire exchanges between the group and the security agencies led to the death of one member of the Homeland Study Group Foundation and injury to 3 others. The police commander at Aveime was also wounded and has been evacuated to the police hospital. The wounded Homeland Study Group Foundation members have also been evacuated to the whole teaching hospital. Now, the 31 arrested suspected members of the Western Togoland group have been moved from the Air Force base here at Burma Camp to the BNI headquarters. The youngest amongst them being 17 years and the oldest being over 60 years. At this point, we take a breather and cross over to my colleague Zoe Abu-Baidoo, who has been interacting with our security correspondent Anas Seidu to get the background to all of this.
I have with me here our security correspondent, Anas Seidu, who will throw more light and give us some perspective as to how this whole group started, and if this is the first time we are seeing of or hearing of a group within this republic. Thank you so much for joining us on the Citi Newsroom, Anas.
You're welcome.
All right, so give us a brief background of this particular group and if there were any prior to the Fourth Republic.
Thank you very much, Zoe. You agree with me that before the Western Togoland or that protectorate was given the opportunity to actually join Ghana, there were people who opposed to that. If you look at the vote pattern during that plebiscite, you realize that a lot of people some people didn't want to join. Fast forward, I can tell you that during the regime of Achampong, you realize that there was a group that wanted that part of the country to cede from Ghana. It took a lot of military operations. They had to do a lot of education. He preached to the people that Ghana had peace then, and it was better for them to join. Free radio sets were distributed to people. They had vans that went around to educate the people. During the time of General Ekufo, we also realized that if we check history, there was a group that was formed, that was the Togoland Liberation Movement, and it was led by Kakari and Indavido. Both were arrested when they actually campaigned and they mobilized their people to push for the Western Togoland to actually separate or be cut off from Ghana. During the time of former President Rawlings, when he was head of state, 1985, there was another group from Togo that was led by Dr. Kofi Kujo, and that particular group came into Ghana for the same purpose, and the leader was arrested by then Chairman Rawlings. During Kufuor's time, we saw a sitting member of Parliament for Holden writing to Kufuor, and he also wrote to the UN actually requesting them to intervene because they wanted, or the group wanted the Western Togoland, or that part of the country, to be declared independent. So we've seen these things happen even before President Kufuor came into power. So the latest of it in the series of the activities of the Homeland Study Group Foundation is when their leader, who has come to be known as Papavi, Charles Kwame Kujoji, when he started campaigning for independence of the Western Togoland.
Thank you very much. That was our security correspondent, Anas Seydi. Let's now bring you a report chronicling the activity of the secessionist group Homeland Study Group Foundation.
God bless dear Western Togoland, liberty for our motherland.
The idea of having an independent Western Togoland date as far back as independent Ghana. In May 2017, some members of the Homeland Study Group Foundation were charged with treason for attempting to declare the territories of colonial Western Togoland as an independent state. The case was later dropped with the accused persons asked to sign a bond of good behavior. This, however, seems not to have held back Charles Kujoji, a leader of the group, and his members from carrying out what might be a lifelong dream for the 80-year-old man. His commitment in seeing this dream materialize perhaps can be seen in publications of some supposed currency samples of the new state, as well as a composed anthem. On May 6th, a joint police and military task force arrested Charles Kujoji, together with 7 other members in Ho, for attempting to declare colonial Western Togoland independent. The 8 were subsequently flown to Accra and charged with 5 counts of criminal offenses, including conspiracy to commit treason, felony of treason, abetment of unlawful training, unlawful assembly, and offensive conduct conducive to breach of peace. At the first hearing of the case, lead counsel for the state, Senior State Attorney Winifred Sapon, pleaded for the accused persons to be put on remand considering the severity of the case and the fact that the same group had in the past been arraigned for similar offenses. She stressed on the fact that the group had planned to carry out their actions on May 9th, hence if the court considered any bail plea, they might use it as an avenue to declare the independence. The state attorney further clarified why the remand was sought in the High Court in Accra. According to her, even though the nature of the case demanded they begin from a district court, the district courts in Accra lacked jurisdiction since the accused were apprehended in Ho. Making a plea for a bail, the accused persons who were without legal representation in court revealed that they were not provided an opportunity to consult their lawyers. According to them, there were several arrangements with the police to provide them lawyers in court, but that was not met. In the ruling of the court presided over by Justice Jerome Noble Nkrumah, the court remanded the 7 other members to police custody. The leader of the group, Charles Kujoji, was however granted bail at a cost of 250,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. In a related development, the Volta Regional Police Command has arrested 81 more members of the Homeland Study Group Foundation for their alleged involvement in a planned demonstration against the arrest of their colleagues who appeared before the High Court in Accra. A month into the trial, the state got disinterested in the case. The charges were therefore dropped in June this year. Nothing much was heard from them until the group declared independence, an action government has since downplayed. In December 2019, chiefs from the Volta region condemned the actions of the group. Same month, 18 members were arrested by the police in Bimbilla in the northern region. 10 others were arrested in Tumu in the Upper West region. During the Christmas season, the leader of the group addressed his members from his hideout. 21 alleged recruits of the group were also arrested by the military in Georgie. The suspects were picked up at their training camp in the forest. They were flown to Accra, prosecuted and later discharged. The group did the unexpected in March 2020 when they erected their flag at the Volta Regional Coordinating Council. In a different twist to the operations, the group mounted signposts in parts of the eastern region. Nobody was arrested by the police for this act.
Now, as we bring you different aspects of this particular story, we're going to cross over to Dwapong, where my colleague Elvis Washington would tell us what happened in that part of the country, which eventually led to the death of one young man as part of today's disturbances by the Western Togoland group.
It was a chaotic and distressed situation at the Abotia Junction in the Volta region when irate members of the secessionist group Western Togoland blocked that section of the road in an attempt to prevent commuters from moving to and from the Volta region. The situation, which lasted for hours on Friday, saw several travelers stranded until a joint team of military and police personnel got to the scene to calm the situation. The group bent huge lorry tires in the middle of the road as part of their protest. Some residents gave an account of what happened.
Around 1 o'clock that way, before I realized that there is a jammer in this junction here. But as for me, I couldn't wake up and see what is happening. Me, I don't know. I don't even know that there is something that will happen and the two will be fearful like this or worrying. I don't know. So as I also wake up and bath and I want to go to work. Getting to this area before, and then I see that the military men are chasing. When you are coming, they will just chase you. When they get you, they will arrest you. So I also go back. I run away and go back to my house and go and sleep some more.
Me, actually, I don't see the thing before the thing to happen. Me, I'm not there before the thing happen. I was in the house for the top there. So I wake up, go to the work before I see the fire burning for a way. I run come here before I see they burn some tires, lorry tire for here. Where the car is stop. So later on, before the break, so just people they come around, kind of give the warning shoot, kill one of our brother.
And unfortunately, some people also they've just, for instance, they are jogging and then the military men just arrested them. They are innocent. As I speak to you now, some of them they are in the vehicle, which we were trying to even to pursue them to release them, but they are reluctant. They are saying unless they hear instruction from our best. So people who are innocent, Dwapong itself, we don't have such groups that and we identify them. We don't know them that they exist in this town. But unfortunately, the person who is even dead rider is just a motor rider in town.
Although the military had warned the residents to leave the street for safety, some of them defied the directive. The police and military fired warning shots to disperse the crowd, but a 25-year-old Okada rider was hit, killing him instantly. Some of the residents claimed the military used excessive force, which was uncalled for.
I could only wake up to see that there is a burning of a lorry tire on the road. And then later, soldiers came. And then they were moving, and then people scattered. Yeah. So along the distance, then we heard that someone was killed when they were climbing up there. So this is all I know. But what actually is happening here now, I don't know the cause. Yes.
However, family of the 25-year-old Emmanuel Kali, who was shot dead, has described the situation as unfortunate. The head of the Kali family, Benjamin Kali, says they are yet to meet on the issue.
I don't know what actually happened there. Because I was in the house here when the military van came, went there, the pickup, and then returned. A lot of people were following the van. So I don't know what happened. And when it was peaceful, when they were here, everything was peaceful. So I don't know what happened next. We are here to assemble. I know the way forward.
Meanwhile, calm has returned to Abotia and Japon townships.
Volta Regional Correspondent Benjamin Aklama has been following this particular story since it broke this morning, and he reports that there is heavy military and police presence in the region. There is more in the following report.
The security has now mounted a stop check at Tademe on the Sugakope Road, checking all passengers entering into the Volta region through that stretch. This is to forestall any further troubles by the secessionist group Homeland Study Group Foundation, which has been advocating for the breakaway from Ghana to form a Western Togoland. Some members of the secessionist group who suffered gunshot wounds this morning told Citi News their interest is in securing independence for the area. They claim they were only peacefully demonstrating without any weapons to press home their demands.
In the
Bloodstains, talismans and other black magic apparels were visible at the scene after the security intervention. The DCE for South Tongu, Emmanuel Lewis Agama, said the District Security Committee will convene a meeting to strategize on dealing with the situation.
3 of them got wounded and receiving medical attention at the health facility. As I speak, the situation is so calm now. The Equala movement is, ongoing, and DASEC would like to meet this morning to further discuss the security situation in the district. We learned they moved from North Tongu district towards my district. They are stationed in Bato area, and that's where they are coming from to embark on this activity.
MP for the area, Kwabena Woyume, said he is skeptical about the narration surrounding the siege this dawn.
It is too early to come to a conclusion as to whether it is or it has some political undertone anyway. But then it gives some, credence in a way, because I think and believe that we have a very solid security system in place. And this is a matter that is already before them. This is a matter already being investigated by them. And it's a matter being adjudicated also upon in the courts. And so I don't think this will go unnoticed.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Benjamin Aklama, Tademe, near Tefla.
The Ministry of Energy has beefed up security at Pong Generating Station of the Volta River Authority located in Akuse after members of the secessionist group Western Togoland attempted to take over the facility. Now, on Friday morning, some members of the group besieged the facility claiming ownership of the land. Citi News' Kweku Eduamansa joined the Energy Ministry to assess the situation and has come through with the following report.
At about 3 a.m. on Friday, about 30 members of the Western Togoland burnt ties and blocked the entry road from Japon to Akuse. The group overpowered the security team at the entrance of the Pong Generating Station of the Volta River Authority and seized their phones.
We gathered intelligence that there were a group of people who had besieged the dam, and they were saying that the dam belonged to them. So they are taking over. We didn't know the kind of people who were there, so immediately police, we proceed to the place. We met about 6 of them initially. When they were questioned, we were told that they are from Western Togoland and that this place where the dam is belong to them. And for that matter, they are taken over from Ghana government.
The head of security at the facility, Thomas Mahama, assured that the Pung generating station is secured.
Some of them were at the dam, at the east gate, whilst about 6 of them went to the west gate. That was the leader of the group. So there were those groups that those people I talked to, we spoke with. Then they understood that they needed to actually move away from the plant so that the plant will be secured.
There was relative calm in the Akuse township at the time journalists arrived at the facility. A young man who had hoisted the flag of the secessionist group on his motorbike was picked up by the police.
So far, no arrest was made in the morning. We just saw somebody with a motorbike and then they're carrying the flag of the Western Togoland. He's been arrested and he's been questioned.
The police say he will be questioned by the security agencies as they investigate the incident.
So security presence here on the Akuse stretch has been increased because of the development with regard to the Western Togoland situation in the country. Let me say that if you're moving into Akuse or to Japong, you will be thoroughly searched by the security presence you see here before you enter the community. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediama Ansa.
This is still the Citi Newsroom. We'll take a quick break here and return with more stories.
Rigworld Solutions, forging the frameworks of Ghanaian industry. Engineering solutions from the heart of Takrady, Kejebil. At Rigworld Solutions, we manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings for the extractive and petrochemical industries. World-class products with local expertise. Locate our factory in Kejebil of the Takrady Takwa Road. Call 0302 949917 or 0540 107504. Email enquiries at rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
The Equinfi Juice Factory is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank. Each juice brand, Equinfi Fruit Juice, is made from fresh pineapple and its quality is impeccable. All raw materials used in its production are purchased here in Ghana. The entire value chain has helped the community prosper by creating jobs for many Ghanaians, from farming, distribution, and retail. Due to its great taste and brand promotion, Equinfi Juice is available in supermarkets and shops all over Ghana. And just like Equinfi Juice Factory, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as shea production, poultry, pharmaceuticals, sweet potatoes, avocado, tomatoes, mangoes, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P: produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
The whole world has been dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and our frontliners have put their shoulders to the wheel. But the key unsung heroes for me are the waste collectors. With no protection, with very little PPE, these people work around the clock to ensure that waste is collected.
We in the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation have been working with our partners, especially those in the gripe group, to help these workers, to provide face masks, gloves, overalls and Wellington boots and tricycles, otherwise known as Aboboya. But we cannot do it alone. We need the support of everyone to keep the over 35,000 waste collectors and pickers safe. I call on you as an individual and on all organizations to come to their aid.
Every soldier needs a tool, and they are the soldiers at the front line now.
let's get together, provide them PPEs and resources so they can protect us better.
That planet. The world is impossible without time. That planet. Time is endless motion. Make time work for you. Bet Planet. Time to bet.
This is still the Citi Newsroom, and we are still discussing the issue having to do with the secessionist group Homeland Steady Foundation Group, and today in the Volta region they blocked some roads. Now we are taking it from different perspectives, and I have been joined by the chairman of the Defense Committee in Parliament, Honorable Seth Ichampong. I want your first impression with respect to this particular issue.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think this is clear criminality, and their actions can and will be called a criminal attempt against the state. I can call it a treasonable offense because their intention since they started this narrative has been for a cessation, for some independence. And since I've been born and grown up to this age, I know a unitary state called Ghana. And so I find their concern a bit a challenge for my appreciation. And so I do not take kindly to this attempt to undo what we all came to meet by the toil and the sweat of our forebears to build a state and a country for us. So nobody will be allowed to destabilize this state. They may have some initial attention, but going forward, I believe they are going to struggle and suffer for every consequence that they might have allowed this country to go through. And a lot of material has been picked, and whoever is involved, whoever is funding them, must be very, very careful because they are not going to go scot-free. And the state apparatus have been very, very observant and following their tracks. And it's premature for me to say as much as I know, but I'm confident of the state security apparatus.
We saw an earlier court matter, and what has become of that? Because earlier when this whole thing started, they were arraigned, including the leader, and they were left to go scot-free. What happened to that particular issue?
So you agree with me, reasonableness. Look at how frail that old man was. Would you ever thought that that old man can carry an arm to go and hurt or harm a personnel of state? But coming and traveling this far, we are seeing that there are some able-bodied characters, human beings, who believe that they can arrest the state authority. And so by going and demonstrating that action, they are showing their men. They are really going to meet the true men.
Thank you very much. And that was Honorable Seth Ichampong, and he is the chairman of the Defense Committee in Parliament. We'll now cross over to my colleague Bobbie Osei, who has other angles to this particular story.
Still watching the Citi Newsroom as we continue our coverage of today's disturbances by some suspected members of the Western Togoland group. I'm here with the Dean of Academic Affairs for the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff. What do you make of the event, and also your assessment of the security apparatus's response? Some say they delayed,
Well, it was something that didn't come to me as a surprise, because of the genesis of the whole situation and the way we have handled it so far. I knew it will come up again. I'm saying this because in the initial stages we thought it was a child's play, and we gave them kids' gloves.
I wasn't happy when there was a newly prosecuted, when some of them were arrested and left to go because the government was not interested. If the real story were captured and information disseminated to the ordinary Ghanaian, everybody would know that what you're doing, one, illegal, two, the results will not be, they won't get anything from it. In international discourse, for a people to say they want to secede and they succeed in secession, 3-4 things must be satisfied. There must be the evidence of a territory that used completely not as part of the territory they have been forced to join, like Eritrea. So it was easy for Eritrea to secede. Beyond that territory, there must be socio-historical realities, some evidence of the fact that everything they have been doing in that place is different from where they have been forced to join. Do we have that? We don't have that. 3, there must be evidence of suppression and oppression. That Ghana, since our Transvolta Togoland friends joined us, we have been suppressing them, oppressing them, no human rights. These are the ingredients for secession. And which of these can be proven? Would you believe that in reality, these places were not part of Transvolta Togoland? Absolutely. And so they have no right even to say they were seceding. They join any group to secede. Peki, all the way downwards to Keta, were part of Gold Coast already. Transvolta Togoland started from the whole area all the way to Yendi. Yendi used to be part of Transvolta Togoland under British protectorate. And so when the plebiscite came, they thought, and wisely too, that it would not be wise for some of them to be in another country, especially their seat of government, that's the Dagbon stool, would be in Togoland and Tamale and the bigger part of Dagbon in Ghana. So they voted massively to join the Gold Coast. The enclave that voted against, and that was only 58%, against joining Ghana was the Hoho area, the place they call Podome area and that kind of thing. So if you really want secession, what is the boundary? What are they agitating for? Where is the territorial boundary of the place? And as I said, where is the territory? The territory they are carving out of the old Transvolta Togoland means that there is a hidden agenda.
According to some of the narrative they've pushed, 60 years after the plebiscite, they should decide whether or not they stay with the union or move on. So what do you make of that narrative?
This is the biggest untruth being told. Before you leave, I'll give you a copy of the letter the British wrote. No clause that ever stated that 50, 60 years later you could do this. Now, even if it did, in terms of international law, I think it wouldn't be, it's mind-boggling to think that international law, any treaty would have signed it that way, that 50 years later you can go. No, they would have shown the steps to take to leave. Why are they not giving that part of the narrative?
Let's just stay on this particular matter because the National House of Chiefs has described current happenings in the Volta region as alarming and says such development must be condemned with all the seriousness it deserves. Members of the National House of Chiefs held a closed-door meeting with the National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, who briefed them on happenings in the development in the Volta region during his visit on Friday. Speaking on the matter, President of the National House of Chiefs, Togbe Afede the 14th, called for concerted efforts to ensure the situation does not get out of hand.
This is the kind of thing that I've not recollected ever happening in our country. The Honorable Minister of National Security talked to me this morning about it, and then I also made the effort to contact some chiefs from the Volta region about an appropriate response from the Volta regions of chiefs. We are lucky to have the minister with us today. and he had earlier briefed members of the standing committee on these happenings, which the standing committee found very, very alarming. It requires the support of all of us to ensure that this does not escalate any further, that our country would remain the peaceful nation that it's always been, and which we've always taken a lot of pride in. The standing committee would issue an appropriate response after this meeting to the happenings in the Volta region, which we will disapprove of.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom right here on Citi TV. We're taking a breather. When we return on Constituency Radar, we take you to the Esikado-Ketan constituency of the Western region, where Railways Development Minister Joe Garte is set to face stiff opposition from the NDC candidate, Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa.
Details shortly. Please stay with us.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Accra Farms Limited, located in Ekropon in the Eastern Region, is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank that deals in poultry. This venture will create direct and indirect jobs for Ghanaians and help Ghana realize the vision of becoming an export-driven economy. A feat that would reduce the over $375 million spent on poultry importation. Like Accra Farms, there are other businesses being set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative, such as Casado Ropa, Ekunfi, Pharmaceuticals, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our products. Let's support Made in Ghana, and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Hello, my brother. It's been a long while. Your house did build. I used the finest materials for this building. I can see that. But my brother, you know, just last year you built this house. Oh yeah. When the walls started peel off like banana due to rising damp. My brother, that's been my issue. I've tried so many things, but nothing works. You know what? They even use that black rubber thing on it before the concrete casting. You mean that bola rubber? Oh, my brother, you would have saved yourself the stress if only you used Visqueen DPM from Vertigio Limited. Really? That'd be what my puppy used for house. And over so many years, the house till they come up.
For purchases and enquiries, contact Ventigio Limited at Spinters Road, Accra, or in Kumasi at Ushumasi Kwarasu.
Visqueen DPM, no size.
Pre-order the Huawei Y9A before 1st October and get a free Band 4E and a gift box. Terms and conditions apply.
You're welcome back from the break. This is the Citi Newsroom. Let's bring you some more stories. The Ofako District Police Command in the Central Region says it is yet to make any arrest in the alleged killing of the Asafohene of Odukpong Ofako, Nai Oshipidako, by land guards over a land dispute. According to the police, they are still making frantic efforts to find the body of the deceased as investigations continue into the incident. Central Regional Correspondent Calvis Tete has more in the following report.
The Asafohene of Odupong Ofako, Nai Oshipidako, is alleged to have been shot by land guards at Awutu Kwabonze, near Kaswa, in the Awutu Senya East municipality after he visited a parcel of land under dispute. Speaking to Citi News, Ofako District Police Commander DSP Samuel Amfo indicated that they are yet to find the body of the late chief days after the shooting incident. He says investigations into the matter are ongoing.
The people are alleging that one man has got missing. One Asafisupi has got missing. Police has combed the area since 3 days ago, and the alleged body has not been retrieved or have been seen. So this morning, the divisional commander, Chief Superintendent Kosonu, asked the divisional crime officer, together with a team of investigators from Kaswa Division, to come and join Ofankor District to go to the scene again as a search party to go and search the area, whether some suspected traces like brass stains and other things will be found at the scene to enable police to trace or confirm that somebody has been shot dead or missing. For now, police is still doing their investigation. We have not been able to trace anything, but still the allegations are going on that that particular person has got missing. And for that matter, police is also have intensified their investigation, searching for the missing person. For now, those who sustained the gunshot wounds, we are now taking their statement, and they will identify the perpetrators or those who committed the crime to us. And after they have been able to identify the offenders to us, police will gather intelligence, and those people will be arrested and brought to book.
The Odupon Ofako Traditional Council at a press conference on Friday condemned the violent act. Nai Amambo Nimsa is the Jasahene of Odupon Ofako, and he wants the police to bring the perpetrators to book.
We need the police to come in and investigate and then find a culprit so that the law will deal with that person. So we are urging him to send his men down to bring calm to our environment because it become too much for us. Now the police is condemning the activity because we don't want that kind of behavior.
Today on Constituency Radar, we travel to the Esikado Ketan constituency of the Western Region, where Railways Development Minister Joe Gate is set to face stiff opposition from the NDC candidate.
Now, supporters of the NDC's Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa say their groundwork shows that the four-term MP has become unpopular. But as Citi News' Akwese J-Nim reports, the battle lines of Esikado Ketan have been drawn.
Esikado Ketan constituency is one of the coastal constituencies in the Western Region, created out of the Secondary constituency in 2004. Since its creation, the current Minister for Railways Development, Joe Gate, has represented the people of Esikado Ketan, winning all the 4 elections for NPP. Whilst Joe Gate's vote from 2012 to 2016 dropped by 401, the NDC's parliamentary votes also dropped by 2,555 votes within the same period. After 16 years of a smooth ride to Parliament, Joe Gate seems to now have a rare contender, Professor Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa of the NDC. The surgeon, with several years of voluntary social intervention for residents of Esikado Ketan, has won the heart of constituents over the years.
I will vote for Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa. I'm voting for her because she has done a lot of things for this community, even though she hasn't become the MP of this community yet. But she has done a lot of things. You can see this thing. She did this thing for the community. The MP here hasn't even done something like that in 16 years. Let me say that in 16 years, when he became our MP for this community, hasn't done any developmental projects for us, but this woman has done a lot for us.
I'm Dr. Grace. Osei, I'm in a MPP, but Moshe, for 16 years, Honorable Robert Nadono, I'm benefit biara. Like Adibia why wa benefit time and wa benefit maybe to afun. Nso am ma dweno asesa isi ano Dr. Grace na made motu aman. Njo because motu mana aya bibi wa oba benefit time.
Wa hunu go ga to ben no. Nuhu Adibia papa bi aye. Ba fi na obo to abana wa ka be 4 months or 3 months obo to abana. Na oh yeah, me would the machine kishi park no do ho ba na ba park a. Meanwhile no Baston constituency first no. Or the wise second 11 wise club no the bay. No on no 100 wise. But say e bia bay park here ya. Nka e bia ba 100 wise di park no so ayi programs pi wodo. Many attends programs so no tumi ye park no. Banda waka 4 months no. Honorable Joe guy to tumi ye go hole. Grace ayin so be no be go hole no. Inda oyo boho libi
moto ama Grace ayin Sudan kwa Dr. Grace ayin Sudan kwa osende oye besie bia oye kukudufu onye de obaba ba eminarempo oyo ma na ozabo faba na wo sabi oye ma menum na ye papa no ma wo program wo eyi hu henia na ade no otum be ye mo free wa ha ma ye hotohen enye eskado nkoten ofane eskadi katan constituency nano odi de mujuma no wom ma yin enti we yisum de yato mana obotum waye ma osandam crowd ame.
The first timer candidate for the NDC, Professor Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, says her candidature has brought hope to the people.
It's very exciting. It's different. We've never seen a woman in the race in Eskado Ketan before. So the people are actually really excited. I am excited. I'm working really hard. Of course, I know that I'm coming in as the underdog or the unknown, but even more so, that is why the race is more interesting to me, because when you give me a challenge, I usually always go for it and I win in the end. So I'm very confident that I will win this election. I'm also very confident that I'm going to bring positive change. I'm going to be a generational thinker that will bring change and innovation to my constituency, especially when we talk about the plight of the women in Eskado Ketan constituency. And second of all, when you look at my youth, is also another group that I'm very interested in. I'm interested in really bringing jobs and opportunity to our young people, because I think that is one of the biggest problems in the constituency, where most of the youth are, I would say about 70%, if not more, are unemployed.
For Joe Gate's supporters, they have a lot of reasons to add 4 more years to the lawyer's already 16 years in office.
Yeah, I'm voting for Joe Gate. Yeah, because he's done a lot in this constituency. He helped a lot of people. Politics is not about the physical aspect we see, but human, as it were, assistants also count a lot. He helped so many people, find so many people jobs, assisted so many people in terms of education. You get it? He has done a lot more in this constituency.
The reason why I will vote for his Honorable Joe Gate is because of his hard work and the competency that he has for motherland Ghana. That's why I will vote for him.
I'm supporting Joe Gate because seeing the infrastructure development he has done in our constituency, he's the best man to go for us and lead us coming 2020. So that's why I'll vote for him.
She has done a lot. He was given us opportunity as a minister for railway development. If you can see,
You can see how he has done, even where we are standing now, railway training school, before how it works, and now how Honorable Joe Gatti has completed it. If you see from where they will do the workshop, everything, Honorable Joe Gatti has done a lot in the constituency.
The MP himself, Joe Gatti, believes those saying he has not achieved much are only spreading falsehood.
When you lie that we haven't done anything, and somebody lives in Kojoko and knows what we've done in Kojoko, the person will respond. When you lie that we haven't done anything, and somebody lives in Keten and sees that the ICT center is there and serving his or her children, or the person herself or himself went to school in Keten and has used the ICT center, the person will rise up. When you say we haven't done anything, somebody in the Escado knows that the Catholic school, the new block that was built by the Honorable Minister, who was then a member of Parliament from that time in the first Kufuor, the person will wake up. If you say we haven't done anything, and somebody is in Itamako and sees the JHS and knows that the JHS was built during President Kufuor's era, the person will wake up. And so people are rising all over the constituency in response to the lies that are being told. In fact, I must tell you that the candidate has been very helpful to us. The more the candidate lies, the more people respond.
Professor Dr. Ayesu Dankwa says she's not perturbed by those who want to push her down because she's a woman.
It's very difficult for women, especially in our cultural context, to come out and aspire to leadership because, you know, that child really has to be somebody who is a go-getter, who's maybe a tomboy, and then that's the woman that, you know, they try to repress and say, oh, okasa dodo, and now the name is dodo. You see, so by the time we grow up, they would have already labeled you on one of those things. And so those are some of the things that make women pull back and say that, okay, I'm just going to be quiet and be in the corner of the room. But, you know, so far I think that in Ghana as a whole, the women have contributed from the beginning of time, and women are really the backbone of this Ghanaian economy, right? But if we persevere and we keep going and we focus on the goal and we stop listening to the noise, which is what I call the insults and the things that all the noise out there, then we can really get to our goal where we want to go.
And that'll be all on this edition of Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more.
Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV.
Download the Citi Newsroom app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182.
My name is Zoe Abu-Baidoo.
And I am Bobbie Osei. It's been a pleasure coming your way.
Citi TV is live. On DSTV, go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.